thank you to our premier partner, Pinata. Pinata makes it simple to store and retrieve media on IPFS and build social applications with Farcaster. Visit pinata.cloud for all the power tools for IPFS and Farcaster. GM Farcaster. It is Monday, June 17th, and you are here with Nownish Prof and Adrienne for 29 minutes of Farcaster news to start your day. And I just remembered your, I forgot what was on your background until I came back on. Thank you. Yes. Yesterday was my birthday.
Happy birthday.
It was lovely. It was really funny, and I forgot to pull this cast, but July had casted something about like another trip around the sun or something like that. I'm like, what perfect timing. I was like,
Does July have a June birthday also?
Did you know? How did you know? I'm guessing he has a July birthday, but I could be wrong. I mean,
I don't know.
That was good for the pun alone. Yeah. So anyway, and you had an exciting weekend. You had a lot going on. Everything went well. Thank you. Mary.
Yes, it was. I just checked my feed, and I haven't casted in two days. I think it was 2 days.
Shocking.
This is the longest I've gone without casting.
That's crazy. That's craziness.
I took the weekend off.
Wow. I don't. Have you ever had a time when you took that many days off? I guess you
I don't think so. Literally Sunday night, as I was thinking about coming back to Farcaster this morning for GM Farcaster, I remember there was the
streak.
I forget who put it, but someone put the streaks of how many days in a row did you have a protocol action, and I was really proud of my streak. Gone. Have to start over.
That's so funny. Hey, it happens to the best of us, but that is pretty funny.
Life got in the way this weekend, but it was lovely weekend. It was nice.
Well, that's amazing.
A lot of family stuff.
I love that. And here's what it was. Hold on, I just found the cast from July that I have to share. It was congratulations on being born. Hold on. Oops, it did not share. Hold on. That's what it was. I was like, wait, what was it? I remember. Congratulations on being born. And I was like, what a well-timed cast. It was just randomly yesterday. Okay. Thanks.
Wait.
So thanks, July. He had no idea.
Okay.
Congratulations on being born. Just
what
randomly.
Does it mean? Yeah. I mean, I guess
randomly, you know how he does.
Yeah. It's something we all have in common.
Yeah.
I had to think about that for a minute.
Yeah, he just
everyone was born, right? If you're alive today, you were born. Congratulations.
Exactly. And his next part was and surviving for this long. So kudos to everyone in your life who's cared about you to change your diapers, and to your family, friends, and other humans who have come into your life, changed you, loved you, and cared for you. May you be so lucky to have been so loved you didn't even know how good you had it. So common and so normal that it was uncommon. He went on a little interesting cast storm of his own. So I was like, that was just interestingly timed. So thanks, July. I know it was all about me. Probably not. Speaking of cast storm, so this is what you this weekend. It was pretty quiet.
What I missed?
Not much. But
was it quiet because I stopped casting? I apologize.
It was quiet. It was all your fault. So you stopped casting, and other people also went on vacation or something. I don't know. Got a little quiet. So Dan started casting like crazy, a whole bunch of various things. What are you reading this weekend? What are you watching tonight? What are people playing this weekend? Like, he just kind of went, asking questions.
Was he being a CLP?
He was being a CLP. Yes, he was. It was like the old days of Dan being the only person casting.
Love it.
It was kind of like that. So some of the what are you reading was a really interesting list, by the way. So if you're looking for a summer read, this was actually a pretty good list. And then Dan also quote-casted it. Farcaster is a monoculture. People are only interested in crypto, totally dead. As he shared this list of what everybody's reading. And of course, nothing's going to show now. Oh, on Grand Strategy, America. I've never even seen that one before. Plato, of course. TLDR is back on Plato again. Fire in the Valley. There are all kinds of, it was like all over the place, and it was very interesting. So if you're looking for summer reads, this is a good list to check out. See what other Farcasters are reading. And then this was a little bit more interesting. The limiting factor, this is from Dan also during his cast storm. The limiting factor for Farcaster's growth is the supply of high quality, interesting, entertaining, organic content. Most people who are focused on creating content optimize for networks with large existing audiences, because while hard to break through, the upside is massive. Solve for X. So in other words, we are currently creating content for a small existing audience that hopefully grows over time.
That is not interesting enough or entertaining enough yet.
We're working on it. We're trying to be more entertaining, we promise. And then going on, just pay content creators to post on Farcaster. Top content creators realize any direct payment will be small and short term relative to compounding value of a large audience on an at-scale network. Monetization through distribution, e.g. launch a brand, angel investing, etc. So you run into an adverse selection problem. Hold on while I show more, because it's a long cast. The people who are interested in getting paid by a subscale network versus playing the game on hard mode, that would be us. Playing the game on hard mode, Adrienne, that would be us. I thought this was really
right, because remember when Dan offered to pay us and we said no thanks?
No, thank you. We said no, thank you.
Yeah, we said no, that would be too easy.
Yeah, that would be way too easy. We like hard mode. So what do you think about, so I think what, some people are getting at, obviously, is can we pay large creators like a Mr. Beast or something crazy along those lines, to drive attention to Farcaster? And what does that look like, if so? Like, if you put those incentives in place, would they even work? So, and Dan saying it would be a short-term fix, and I agree with that point. But what do you think about this in general? Like, should there be some kind of creators fund?
Oh. I was all set to agree with Dan.
Okay.
Generally, I do feel that way. You're not going to pay someone with a big audience somewhere else. And should there be a creators fund? Sure, why not?
Yeah, two different things, right? I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
obviously, we're not going to say no.
I'm a creator.
But also, I'm not sure that I'm not sure what the long-term impact would be from those outside of like the existing Farcaster ecosystem. Like, we're not going anywhere, but a big creator who has a really big following on Twitter or elsewhere, YouTube, it's going to be hard for them to put significant time in.
Yeah. So. I mean, I just always go back. I mean, I think it is the analogy of kind of you're pioneering something new here. So to try to pick up in from somewhere that's already existing, and you're not going to be able to lift and shift. So you have to create new. I think shout out GM Farcaster Network, which we teased out and started talking about. But what you just said in terms of creator fund, that's what we're trying to do with
exactly
with GM Farcaster, is we want to create a network of shows with and pay people.
Yep, that's the idea. So the second part's going to be a little slower in coming, but it's coming. But we already have a few creators who are using our StreamYard, so giving them support there. And then developing that out. We have a website coming, all those things. We have a calendar where we're starting to get everybody's information on there. So we're getting there. Yeah, for sure.
We just build more entertaining new things here, and people will come as opposed to the other. Kind of reminds me of the Joe Rogan Spotify. Spotify paid Joe Rogan. I mean, he had his, own podcast, and Spotify wanted to bring audience over and grow podcasts, and they paid him $1 bazillion to come and launch. And I actually, I don't actually know the answer. Was that successful for Spotify? Was it successful for
I think so. I think it didn't hurt Joe at all, right? It only helped him. because it just amplified him and gave him a cushion to like not have to hustle as much. You know what I mean? Like still hustling, but not, gave you a little bit of a cushion. So I think for both of them, I don't know what the ROI is on it, but my guess is it worked out just fine. Because I think it was a $5 million deal. I think something like that. And if you think about the costs involved in podcasting, very small, that's a good deal for him, for sure. So I think on the Spotify side, I'm going to guess it also paid off, but I'm not positive.
All right. Well, someone tell us.
Someone tell us if you know.
I thought it was,
if you know.
Yeah.
If you know, it may not have been as good of a return for Spotify. I'm not sure, because how do you measure that? And I guess you just measure it with users. And I think maybe you measure it also with our other podcasts now becoming popular here as well. Is there an effect on that where people mostly would find their podcasts on Apple and YouTube? Are they now going more to Spotify? I can say that I myself do, even though I don't listen to Joe Rogan. Like it's not one of my go-tos, but I do use Spotify more for podcasting. So I don't know if that's like a, part of the strategy there.
And my own tiny sample size is we have more listeners on Spotify than Apple.
Oh, interesting. So I think, so I would say, and I have no numbers. This is very unscientific. So if KBC's in the chat, sorry. I have no data whatsoever. But I think even just from that point, I think that was their goal, was to take on Apple. And I think they probably did that successfully, just in our small little sample set. But yeah, but interesting. I think interesting conversation for sure. And I don't know, is it worth an experiment? Maybe, but also it has to be the right experiment. Like it has to be the right creator, I think, for who are you trying to bring over still? Is it still crypto Twitter? Or are you trying to go in a whole different direction? And what does that look like? You know what I mean? So who is that? Who are those creators, I guess?
And I guess Dan gets a lot of, I imagine people feel free to critique him in public and tell him how he should be growing Farcaster better. And a lot of armchair founders. So he probably gets a lot of pay creators. Like we need that. And he's just putting up the mirror. Yeah. It's you. You are the creator. Yeah. And encouraging people to become. And there's been so much success of people who have built an audience on Farcaster for the first time that didn't have audiences elsewhere. It seems to. Absolutely. I think in the first few years, that's what he's seen more often is like, especially early on, there were people with big audiences elsewhere that are not. Yeah. Like Kobe,
Kobe's on here. He doesn't really cast much. There's, Thread guys on here. They don't cast much. Farouk doesn't cast much. There are the crypto Twitter creators who are on Farcaster, but they still are not, they're still finding their audience more so on Twitter. So you really can't fault them for not spending a lot of time there when that's not where their people are. So it is a little bit of a chicken and egg issue too. So hopefully we can get there. Another related, but also please note, he casted each tweet like in different channels during his tweets.
Was he all over different?
Sorry, his cast storm, not his tweets. Another observation that took me a while to properly model. People use Twitter differently. This is Dan again, by the way. Most people don't post. It's a news and entertainment app, fodder for a group chat, which I thought that was interesting. For people who post, they post for their group of friends also on the app. For a very small group of users, but the group of users that makes Twitter valuable, it's a PvP status video game. Engagement turns into followers, which is the intra-network relative metric of status, even more so since Elon killed the ancient regime blue checks. Also see Packy's The Great Online Game. So I thought that was an interesting jump, because I know you've talked about that article before as well.
Yeah. Have you read it?
I still haven't read it, but I pulled that. Okay. No, I've got to go read it.
Definitely worth a read. I reread it a few months ago and had I was like, oh, is this still relevant? And reread it. It's a classic piece. You don't have to necessarily agree with every piece of it, but it's really interesting. And I think separately that, along with the Eugene Way Status as a Service, are two excellent pieces to kind of understand why do people post on social media.
I find it very interesting. I still am surprised at the numbers, that the percentage is so low. And I guess because although I go through phases of different social media where I post, I tend to be a poster. So I have a hard time understanding people who don't, I guess.
Really?
But then again, if I think of something like TikTok, I've never posted on TikTok. I think maybe once, like very early on with my kid or something like that. But most of it I do just consume. So I guess it depends on but tweeted, I guess. So
yeah, if you're in that, whatever it is, the 10%, the 1% that's doing the majority of the casting, the other, 9% that's replying or liking or engaging.
Yeah. And then 90 just lurking, which I find that's crazy.
If you're in that, if you're very active, it's so hard to remember that there's all these other people out there seeing.
They're just hanging out.
Yeah,
it's really hard. It doesn't compute.
Okay, so Dan's new model, I actually don't think he's wrong, but I have a hard time seeing myself in his model, which makes me so I have a hard time accepting it, even though I think he's actually right. Do you see yourself there in the PvP status game or PvP video game of social network?
No. I don't, because I'm not somebody who ever did specific. I have never put thought and energy into how do I grow my numbers. So I'm not somebody who does engagement farming kind of things. It's been a very organic thing for me. So do I post or cast or whatever? Yes, but I'm not thinking about, okay, this one is going to get me X number of followers or X number of likes or X. I don't think in those terms. So I don't, I've never like, do these 10 things to grow your followers. I'm like, no. So yeah, not my thing.
Follow me for more.
Yeah.
I have 100. Okay. So I have 100% done engagement farming. I'm guilty of it. You can go back to my feed last year, but it's because I want engagement. Like I like the social interaction. I mean, it was never about like, I don't, the metrics in terms of number of following, whatever, it's out there, but it's really not something I'm actively trying to care about.
It's not, and there's nothing I'm I'm not putting it down because it is a measure of, especially for businesses and things like that, but it's just not, I think the sustainability is hard. And also the quality of what you may get may not be the best when you're, specifically engagement farming, but to each his own. To each his own. Okay, we have a few more things. We have a few more things from Dan before we actually move to other things. This was interesting. So for those who are looking for a suggestion, the single most useful thing you can do to help Farcaster grow is cast one thing a day in a channel, especially non-crypto related. A link to a blog post in engineering, a song you think electronic would find interesting, a long cast about your preferences for Japanese knives and food. And I think that's what he was sort of demonstrating in this little cast storm he did do as well. So there you go. And then what are you watching tonight? And this was Varun's answer. For those of you not looking at it, is the corn emoji. And then there was a discussion below by some of the youngins as to whether or not the elder millennial does know what the corn emoji means. So I believe he did. He said, no, what I meant was he was engagement farming. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to leave that at that.
Okay.
Okay.
This young Gen Xer didn't know, but I think I just figured it out.
It rhymes. It's a rhyming. It's a rhyming thing.
Thank you for being newsworthy for me. I just learned something today.
It's a rhyming thing, and we'll leave it at that. This has been interesting. I don't know if you've seen this at DWP, who's working on Warpcast. I can't figure out. It says, let's see who is a parody account here. interesting account. I'm not sure if it's just completely in jest. I'm not sure if it's friend or foe. I can't tell yet. But it's kind of funny. Just a reminder that any high effort reply in Warpcast immediately leads to a shadow ban. There's some funny things in here. So I'm taking it for a lighthearted parody account. We'll see. We'll see how it develops. But it was pretty interesting. This from Horse Facts. The most common reason for the dreaded image failed to load is a frame. Oops. Hold on. I just lost it. This is really useful. Is a frame image that's greater than 10 megabytes. If you see frames from a specific site or marketplace that fail often, ask them to serve a high quality thumbnail instead of the raw asset image. We never render these larger than about 600 by 600 px. So I've seen a lot of these recently. So that's really good to know that we can pass that along and hopefully get those fixed. So there you go. Yeah, so good to know. This from Base, this is exciting. Announcing the 13th wave of 2024 Base Builder grants. JVMI for swatches. I cannot. Hero for our base nodes. Verdasi for FarView. Raven 50mm for videos about On-Chain Summer. OxLJ for Proofs Money, Ilemi for data, Board for Boregon Trail, and World PvP Co. So congratulations to all of those grant builder winners. Amazing.
Congrats.
So I don't know if I noticed this, but Dan, on the day of the long cast release, launched this. This is a test of the long cast system, and it kept going on and on and on. He was testing the long cast. So Robot Fish Girl took that and created a sea shanty out of it. So it is sung like, this is the test of the long cast system, and it goes on from there. So for your enjoyment, it is in a video form that you can go enjoy after the show. This will be linked in the show notes. Please go enjoy this because it's pretty funny.
Can we cue that up for our next karaoke party?
We really need to, because it was quite hilarious, and she really went for the bit and did the whole thing. So also in Nouns news, watched part 3 of the Nouns animation movie, The Rise of Blues. And this was really cool feature that they have where you can go to the site and mint the scenes that you liked. So if there was a scene you really liked, you can mint it as an image, and it's really cool. So you can be like watching it, stop it, mint the scene, grab it, and it's in your wallet. So that was really fun. I really like that little Web3 aspect to it all. And also the animated film is really cute. So go give it a watch. This from Ted. So this is the other big weekend event. This from Ted. And the crew is off 26.2 miles throughout the city of Los Angeles. East Side vibes are higher. Picking up Annalise Matthew Fox at our first Erewhon stop in a couple miles. We'll give mile by mile updates on this cast. Super fun crew. A marathon through LA over the weekend, and this was another one, and then there was a bet as to how long it was going to take them and how many would be there. So they were doing updates the whole way, and then this was the final, and in the end we're all just Polymarket interns, forever friends, proof of walk. Which city dares to try this next? So congrats to everybody who did the walk throughout LA, ended up in Venice, I think was the ending spot, and right near where FarCon was. So that was fun. Loved this. I wonder.
That's so cool. And
it's so cool. Go ahead.
And just like how cool it came together, which is like, I'm just going to cast some weird idea. Like, wouldn't it be cool if we did a 26-mile walk in LA? And then a couple weeks later it happened. And can Ted's energy just be the most infectious, amazing thing ever? Like,
yeah, so good. Yeah. So, and I had such JOMO. So usually when I see these things, I get a little bit of FOMO. And I had so much JOMO just watching them cast about it. Like, thank you for taking us along for the ride. For those of us who couldn't be there. And also, I would not have walked 26 miles. There's no freaking way. I might have gone 10. That would be about it. But so it was really like a lot of JOMO, you know, just joy of missing out and just enjoying their like adventure. And I was so happy that she kept posting about it. So thank you for taking us along for the ride. Yeah, that was really fun. And I can't
Are they
wait
wearing
to see what
Poly Market intern? Are they wearing?
They're
Poly
all
Market
wearing
hats?
Poly Market hats.
Bucket hats.
Yes.
But
Yes.
that's not digitally added. They were wearing
No,
them.
I think they have actual physical hats from the Poly Market intern, and I want one. We will wear them on air. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. All right. I forgot to show this monstrosity the other day. So from Toe Spacers continues, guys will think this. Say hell yeah. So this was a screen capture from the CastOut edition last week. And then Jace added some toes and toe spacers. And then Cameron did this. Farcaster. Is this Scenius? So yeah, that was pretty funny. So there you go. Is this
I had to have
Scenius?
someone explain this meme format to me. I didn't understand it. I saw it. Yeah. And someone at FarCon, someone explained it to me. I think it was Chicago. I can't remember. I remember. And I finally understood it, but I still like didn't really confessional. Like they explained it. I'm like, okay, but I still.
It took on a life of its own. Yeah. If like, is this? Yeah. No, this
but
is
I get this now. This is like this by Cameron. I was like, oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah. This actually is a really good use case.
Yeah.
This is an incredibly good use case of this.
No, this is not Scenius.
All right. And before we wrap today, we have to, I have to share the next challenge for CastOut. So CastOut is still going. And I'm regretting not making it just 2 weeks, but we are going for another 2.
The beta.
The beta. Next time it will definitely be crunched into 2 weeks. But I'm excited for today's challenge, and I'm excited for the one later this week as well. 2 more challenges this week. So what I did post this, I casted this yesterday, this survey. What do you think the next CastOut challenge will be? And let's see where everybody's at. So I said either create an NFT, start a channel, ETH prediction, or other. By the way, I said, if you said other, write what you think other is, and nobody put anything about other.
Oh, I was like, is that so you can get ideas for next season?
No, I just want to, if anybody had been right before I announced this, they would have won some DGen. But
was it other?
It is other. Have any guesses?
Oh, no.
It is other. It is not. It is not one of those ones. It is other.
Launch a meme.
Any guesses in the chat?
Launch a meme token.
Launch a meme token. Interesting. Now I am just getting ideas. Any guesses in the chat? Last chance to guess. If you get it right, I will tip you some DGen, but you got to do it right now.
Cast interesting things into different channels.
Buy toe spacers. All right, here we go. Here we go. GM Farcaster's On-Chain Summer continues with CastOut. 6 players remain to outwit, outplay, and outcast for a chance to win 100,000 DGen. For the next challenge, it's time to ponder. Players will create a survey using the ponder frame and cast it in the channel of their choice. They'll post anytime after noon Eastern today, and whichever survey has the most results by 11 a.m. Eastern on Tuesday wins that player immunity, and one of the other 5 will be casted out. If you're not a CastOut player, you can still play along. Back your favorite player on bracket.game and follow the CastOut channel for all the fun. And let us know which survey was your favorite. Are you ready and on? Let's outwit, outplay, and outcast this on-chain summer with CastOut. And thank you to our premier partner, Kenyatta, sponsor of both GM Farcaster and CastOut. So nobody got the meta within the meta. I was like,
yeah,
it was right in front of you.
The hint. It was the survey.
The survey was the hint.
So obvious.
Like, nobody got that? Nobody even tried? Yeah, so that is what you're all going to be doing today. So we have 6 CastOut players left. And today, anytime afternoon, they will each be dropping a ponder survey. So your own creativity, it can be any question, any channel, and whichever one gets the most results, most people voting in it, will win immunity, and the others will be up for vote to be casted out. So here we go. We'll see how they do today. I'm excited to see what their questions are. So time to tap into your coaches, your survivor coaches.
I know everyone knows this, and I know this was by design, but it's so cool that all the challenges are so Farcaster native and getting to use all the different Farcaster tools and
that was the whole point.
I know, but I'm just bringing it up again. That's so cool.
So I'm excited to see what you all do. And I have another really fun challenge for this week. And I actually ended up flipping them for reasons that will make sense later this week. So, but I'm excited to see this one. We did have a few comments. I forgot to throw these on the screen. This was from, I think it's from Dewofy. It's missionary versus mercenary again. Talking
links.
about paying. Oh, it's links. Sorry. I get them confused. I'm like, I don't remember which one's which. Dan is going to pay people to post because he's trying to solve for people posting on their own. Yeah, true. Well, it's not a long-term solution. Yeah, exactly. So anyway.
And you missed a few others to show. We're going to continue.
I was going to skip
birthday
those.
Celebrations. Happy birthday, Prof. It was yesterday, so we're a day late, but it's birthday week.
That's okay. We can do this all over again Thursday. Well, Wednesday or Friday, whatever day.
Someone else has a birthday this week. So it's
someone else has a birthday this week. Yes, this show is co-hosted by 2 Geminis. So there's 4 of us on here at all times.
Which makes a lot of sense.
Doesn't it all make sense? And with that, we're going to call it. And that, for a show that there wasn't too much going on, we had a lot to talk about, per usual. Do you remember when Dana paid me to post? Yeah, me neither. Also, toast facers. just randomly from now on, toast facers. And with that, everybody, go put your toast facers on. And bye-bye.